morning, everybody. I'm Sylvia, the Crafty Old Lady. Today I'm working in my summer journal. I have about 20 pages left, I think, in here. And last weekend I traveled with my son and daughter-in-law to visit my daughter and son-in-law in Pennsylvania. And we went to a zoo there, and it's called Lake Tobias Zoo. Or White Lake Tobias Wildlife Park, and that was really fun, and I'm going to document that today. I also did notice in this catalog, which I will go through in more detail, but I saw a thing about the Lake Tobias Zoo in here when I was flipping through it on page 60, so I thought I would go ahead and cut this out and use it in my spread. And in this one, they have like a regular zoo area and some playgrounds and, you know, oh, I hope I didn't just rip it. Oh, good, not too bad. You know, concession stands and that kind of thing. And I think they also have an alligator. We didn't go in the whole zoo because it was super hot that day. But my son, Jeremiah, somehow got to pet a alligator somewhere. I don't know where he went. He went off by himself for a few minutes, and that's where he went, I guess. But anyway, I have, let's see, a couple of pages, like I said, about 20 pages left, and this is where I want to document the zoo. So, see, this is all I got left. I thought I would put this on here, and I still think I will. I think I want to cut it straight and not with scissors because I don't cut very well with just scissors. I don't cut straight at all. I'm going to just cut a little bit off the top to make sure it will fit. And I hope you're happy, healthy, and safe today. I hope you've had a great summer. It was super cold yesterday. It was in the 50s and rainy. So today is supposed to be a little bit nicer, but it's still early morning and I'm still cold, so I'm wearing a sweatshirt, believe it or not. It's when we were down at my daughter's in Pennsylvania, it was like in the 90s down there, and my husband stayed here to go to the Blues Fest, and he said it was in the 90s here too, and then all of a sudden one day it's in the 50s, which is just mind-boggling to me still after all these years of experiencing that every fall, every end of summer, suddenly it's just cold again. But then we do usually go back in September and go back to some warmer days, even in October sometimes, so I have that to look forward to. And I do, my daughter Rachel went back to Japan like early this morning. She left from Pennsylvania, and she goes to the Harrisburg airport down there. Alright, so I have this little brochure and map. That's the whole area. So I thought I would just glue this part down right onto this page, and then I can pretty much open it up and see whatever I want to see. It's only covering up just some information about the attractions. So, petting zoo attraction, reptile building. I guess that's where my son went. We didn't even get to the petting zoo, unfortunately. The kids were just exhausted by the time we were over there. They really did enjoy the drive-through safari. Now, you don't drive through it, but they have like safari buses that take you through it. And we were lucky enough to get the one and only one that had a cover on top, like a roof. So we were not in the direct sun. Oh, we weren't in the sun the whole time as others were. So that was nice. I think I'm going to put it over here. and it was crowded, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, which is funny. And now I have also this with the, it's just a little, oh dear, I'm up too high. I have this bag with the receipt in it, which I was thinking about maybe like putting here. I don't know. I might put some of the photos on here, and then I have my ticket, which I'm not sure yet what I want to do, but I do think I'm going to just kind of glue this right here, and then we'll figure out our pictures. I didn't get too many of the faces of the kids because, you know, they're always looking away from you to look at the animals. So I have a couple of pictures that I can actually show you because their faces aren't showing. So we'll put this here. So that's that. And then I was just gonna maybe put 3 up like this. There's my granddaughter and littlest grandson petting the donkeys. You were allowed to feed and pat these elk and whatever was there. Buffalo, you weren't really supposed to feed, I don't think, but you were allowed to put your hands out, which kind of shocked me. There's the alligator and a capybara, which are much bigger than I thought. They had a giant longhorn steer, and I bet you the whole width of his horns had to be at least 6 feet from one end to the other end of the, each tip of his horn had to be at least 6 feet. I don't know how they could carry those around on their heads. Some of them were losing their antlers, and that was pretty gross. This was a white ostrich. And there's one of the buffalo. And I don't remember what these are. Elk, maybe? There's another grandson having an icy. And he was feeding this little guy. Alright, so I think I will put the animals up first. And I'm going to do that with Fabri-Tac, and I'm probably just going to kind of zip right through and speed this part up a little bit. This is basically what I'm going to do. I was hoping I could fit 3, but I don't think I can, so I'm just going to put 2. So I'll have to have some space somewhere else for the rest of them. And then I can put some labels on here and just, if I want to write anything about them, I can put little labels in between each picture. Okay. I thought I had moved my camera up higher, but I don't think I did. I think I need to move it up even higher. I feel like I'm too close. Alright. So let me know in the comments below what you've been doing this summer. Did you go on vacation? We have never gone on vacation. We've just never had the money for that. But for many years, my parents owned a hotel in Ocean Grove, New Jersey. It used to be called the Shore View. I think it's the Ocean View now. So we would go down there for like a week in May, a week in June, a week in July, and a week in August. And also, we would just go down and visit my parents all year round, but not for a week at a time in the winter. But that was a nice way to get away, and it was a great place to meet up with other, my siblings and stuff. So we have that. And I was thinking I could also put some here. I can probably fit 3 or 4 right here. I could fit 4 there. And what if I put 1 up here? Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll put the giraffe up there. Actually, I'll put the alligator up there because he wasn't really part of the drive-through. So I asked my son if they had taped the alligator's mouth shut when he petted it, and he said no. He said it was about 3 feet long, which is crazy. I can't even imagine the liability insurance for that, letting people pet it. I mean, aren't they unpredictable? I don't think you can tame an alligator. But who knows? I don't really know. But I wouldn't trust an alligator, even if it was tamed, supposedly tamed. I wouldn't trust a lion or anything either. Like when I was growing up, you could get in, I don't know if it was at fairs or what, but you could get in the cage with a lion, a full-grown lion, and get your picture taken. I wanted to do it so bad, but my parents wouldn't let me. And I have to say now that I would not, I wouldn't do it now, and I wouldn't allow my kids to do it either. Because you just don't know. They can turn on you. So now I have 3 pictures left, and this. So we can turn the page, and I kind of feel like I want to cover this page with something, because this is kind of boring. So I'm going to find a background for this page, and we'll finish up our spread. Alright, so this is the paper I chose for the background. I thought it looked kind of tropical and summery. So I think I'm just going to kind of glue this on and then do all the last 3 pictures kind of cattywampus and not straight like I did on the other page. And then I need to put a couple labels, a date, that kind of thing. All right. So there, we're going to do that. I feel like I'm moving my book in the wrong direction there. Okay. Now it's kind of sad that nobody's around. It's quiet. I wonder how my daughter who we went to for the zoo here, she's had a house full of different people all summer coming and going, and I have a feeling she might be feeling a little lonely too. Well, the drive down there wasn't bad though. I was worried that it would be very traffic-y, like New York City. I don't know why I thought it was going to be that bad, but it wasn't. Not bad at all. I could do it. I could drive it, but I would never drive in New York City. Okay. There we go. I think that's the cutest page of all. So let's go back to the beginning. We've got this thing from the magazine telling about it. And then we have our pictures, our receipt, our brochure, and map. And then the last page is this one. And I think we've got a couple of labels. I'm going to put the date that we went, which was the 16th. And I'll get that on there at least. And then maybe I will, probably not today, but make a tag to go in here or some kind of journaling card to go in there. And write about it. So let's get this off here. Put that right here. Straight. There, I got a new date stamper, and it came with its own little stamp pad, which is nice. My old one, was the kind that you push down and it had the ink built in, and it just kept drying out, and I was refilling it, and I didn't want to waste all my ink refilling that thing. So, and you couldn't just put it on top of an ink pad because it would get all messed up around the edges because it was like on a frame, and then the frame would get inked and you'd have a big ring around it, and blah, who wants that? So yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.